And hello, South Florida. Welcome to our Thursday edition of the Real Estate Show. We are South Florida's #1 program about real estate and America's longest running daily radio show, all about the topic of real estate. My name is Eric Willner, and we are live here Monday through Friday, live at 5 p.m. We come on, that's Eastern time. We come on 5 days a week to talk about real estate, all aspects of real estate, from the properties to the financing to the news to deals themselves. So we hope that you'll tune in and join us, whether you join us on our local stations on AM 1470, on FM 95.3, and FM 96.9. You can catch us on the internet a couple of different ways. One is through some of the free apps that are there. The radio.com app, the TuneIn app, the Spreaker app. iHeartRadio is probably one of my favorite, and the TuneIn has the alarm, which allows you to set it so that it reminds you every day at 5 when the real estate show comes on. But all you have to do is search for WWNN 1470, and you'll pick up the Money Talk Radio show, and you'll see the red and black logo there that you see also on our Facebook Live view. So many different ways to catch the radio show. It'd be a shame to miss it, but if you do, you can always go to our website at Automatic Landlord, where we also run it live. So you can listen to it live there online at automaticlandlord.com. You can download the podcast version and take it with you on an airplane or on a boat. And you can listen to right there online, not only the current live version, but on demand, you can listen to any of the past shows. So good stuff going on all the time. Saying hi to Jose Roberto on our Facebook, who just gave us a thumbs up. Anyway, we got a great show for you today here on the Real Estate Show. As you know, Mondays we start out with our Mondays on a Mission, talking about the agenda for the week, talking about sort of the theme, and we've been talking a lot about the enormous role that first-time home buyers are playing in the marketplace. In fact, they account for more than 1/3 of all of the homeowners that are home buyers, I should say. Then on Tuesdays, we talk about our tools, tips, and techniques. We get into some of the nitty-gritty things, some good tips of what to do in today's marketplace. We've been talking about one of the biggest obstacles that you'll see with buying a home today is number one, student loans, big burden for the millennial group out there. The stiff competition, we talked about that on our Wednesday show, where we have our midweek report. And on the midweek report, we talk about what's going on in the news. We're talking about the real estate and mortgages for DACA members. Kind of interesting thing there. We talked about some of the trends going on. Kind of an interesting term I heard also just recently about the cloffice. That's the closet that became the office. So, we've been talking about the suburban flight and the people leaving the densely populated areas, going to the more spread out, more suburban, nicer climate areas like Florida and Texas and so forth, especially this week when we've been hit real hard by the storms and record snowfall going on up in the Northeast. It's kind of nice. We're having some cool weather here. You can see by the long sleeve shirt. This is my winter attire here in South Florida. But we got a great show for you today. Thursdays is our ATM edition of the Real Estate Show, and we like to talk about the money. That's what ATM is, about the money. And so what we're trying to do is to take away as many obstacles as there can be for first-time home buyers. Oh, the other thing that I explained also on Tuesday, we were talking about why I understand that there are a huge segment of the demand that's going on right now. And right now we know that the demand is far greater than the supply. And so just that increase in the demand from the first-time home buyers is important. But there are obstacles. And what are those obstacles? We talked about last week, obstacle number one, we spent a good amount of time talking about down payments. Now, many times I hear folks talking about that they haven't saved up enough down payment, or they want to save up more of a down payment. And I'll tell you that when you do that, when you delay it or defer buying real estate because of the down payment, it's a self-defeating practice. And here's why. Well, if you're trying to save more and then the prices are going up, every time that you save a little more, proportionally, you're still staying in the same place. That's if you're saving as fast as the market goes up. And think about this for a second. If you save 5%, and let's say that you have $10,000 and you save 5%, well, you saved another $500. If the market also goes up 5% on a $100,000 house, it just went up $5,000. Or on a 200, the median price is now 300. So we're talking about 15,000. You save 500, the price went up 15,000. Are you catching up? Are you really saving up for a bigger down payment? The answer is no. So I often get the question, when is the best time to buy a property? And I say, when you can, right? The old Chinese saying that when was the best time to plant a 40-year-old oak tree was 40 years ago. The second best time is right here, right now. And that's why if you can afford, if you can somehow come up with the down payment, and that's why we've been talking so much about down payment assistance. We have a number of great programs, especially for the first responders, EMT, nurses, doctors, firefighters, policemen, even for those of you who did this on a volunteer basis. There are special programs that if you can evidence one of those things, there are zero down payment. Save your money for furniture improvements. Zero down payment loans that allow that. Question I get sometimes, why are you talking so much? Why I'm an investor. Why do I care about that? Well, first of all, there's a lot of difficulty right now in finding properties. And so if you want to sell for the highest and best price, many times those willing to pay the highest price are not the other investors, but the first-time home buyers. And so you want to be versed on how to facilitate somebody wanting to pay you full price for your house. So this conversation here is great for investors, is great for first-time home buyers, or even people who are just moving laterally or that don't fall in between those two bookends. The second issue, and so by the way, if you want more information, if you missed last week's show, but you still want the DPA, the down payment assistance report, all you have to do is text to 561-861-2366. Once again, that number is 561. That's the Real Estate Show smart number, 561-861-2366. You want to plug that into your phone because as long as you remember that number, when I talk about text DPA to that number, all you have to do is plug that phone number in, text DPA, and you'll get our white paper on the down payment assistance programs that we have. Next, we talked about credit. And as you can see, we've had a number of workshops after our radio shows. And Mondays we have our credit accelerator, our debt accelerator workshop on Monday nights. On Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights, we've been having our credit accelerator workshop after the show. And this is where you can come and learn what are some of the things that you can do. Today, I was actually with one of our credit bureau vendors. And you know that you can actually change your credit score mid-month. We can actually affect your credit score, raise your credit score. We have software that does an analysis of your credit report, and then will tell us exactly what your potential, what the top end of your score could be in less than 30 days, and exactly what to do, whether to pay down a balance, close an account, open an account, you name it. There's lots of different solutions in trying to hack your credit score. And so we have that. We have a simulator. What if you did this, or what if you did that in real time? And from everything from getting online, on time, real time verification of certain things and verifying that certain things are not yours so that they get removed. You're not going to find anyone better out there at the game of hacking your credit score. And if you want some assistance in that, all you have to do is text to our smart number, 561-861-2366. Text the word credit, and I'll know exactly what to send you in our automated system there so that you can have that information. And if you want to book a call with us, then all you have to do is type in the word discovery to that same number, and we'll make sure that you get that link in order to book a call at your convenience. Anyway, that brings us to our Thursday show, which of course is about the money. And the third big issue is not the credit, let's say, and it's not the down payment, because we can help you with both of those. But it is in reducing the amount of debt you have. And for that, we have the automatic landlord's debt solution. This is a time-tested, long-proven formula for how to get out of debt faster than any other way. And so if that's what you want to do, when you want to build more equity in your bank account, you want to build more equity in your home, then text the word equity, and then we'll send you that information. Very cool report. That's that one also has just been revised. Type the word equity to 561-861-2366. But I want to give you a little bit of a taste of what we're talking about here, because what I'm going to talk about, and we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, but when I come back, I want to show you how, with little or no alteration to your current standard of living, and that's important. It's easy if you decide to not eat for a week, tighten your belt, don't run the air conditioner, or if you're up north, don't run the heater, and try to save money and then pay extra. This is not what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you a much smarter solution to that. Whether you're eligible to refinance and take advantage of some of the low, 2 and 3% interest rates, depending on your situation, you don't have to refinance to understand what the automatic landlord debt solution does. So no refinancing of your existing mortgage is necessary, but sometimes we might say that it helps. No consolidation necessary. In fact, beware, some of these debt consolidation companies that make you send all the money to them, and then they decide who and when they're going to pay, which often results in worsening your credit, even though it will take some of the stress of all of the collection companies calling on you. But there is a big price that sometimes you may not know that you're paying. And finally, I'm going to show you some software that you want to make part of your software library. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break here. A few words from our sponsors. You're listening to The Real Estate Show. My name is Eric Willner, and I'll be right back. Whew. Miss Ragland, nice to see you out there. Justin, what's going on? I'm probably yelling because I've got the radio coming into my ear loud and clear. I'm going to say hi to Erica, of course. And who else we got going on there on our Facebook page? I've been having a challenge with Facebook. I had to go to my personal page because our company page is somehow being blocked. And with all this conversation about censorship and everything else, I love you too. With all this conversation about censorship, you can't help but be a little bit paranoid that the forces majeure out there. And it was a great day today on a whole bunch of senses. Using this exact system that we were talking about earlier, we were talking about how to reduce a mortgage that was going to take another 29 years. They just got it about a little bit over a year ago, and drop it down to 7 years based on some reallocations and some tips there. So some very, very cool stuff with this system that we're talking about. We're getting ready to come back. So what are you guys doing out there? How are you doing? And welcome back. For those of you just joining us, you are listening to The Real Estate Show, South Florida's #1 program about real estate, now in its 22nd consecutive year. Also America's longest running daily radio show. And as I like to say, through good times and through bad times, The Real Estate Show here has been a bastion of information, a great sounding board for countless investors out there. We'll help you run the numbers on different investments, point you in the right direction for the right financing, for the right type of investment vehicles out there. And there's some really neat niche products out there specifically for real estate investors. Oh, and by the way, what I'm talking about today on this automatic landlord debt solution strategy, when you are a real estate investor with multiple properties, then this thing sings like a machine. And like I said, with no alteration to your current standard of living, but simply by running the money through different accounts, parking money in different places and paying, managing the timing of those payments, you can pay it off in a 30-year loan in less than 11 years, often 7 to 10 years. And if you're a real estate investor, try 3, 4, or 5 years have been some of the results that we've been getting with this strategy that we're talking about here. So you definitely want to request the report. That's equity to 561-861-2366. Oh, by the way, before I forget, tonight, as you know, we have workshops after our radio show, probably 4 nights out of the week. Thursday nights is our mastermind group. This is, we call it the big round table, the big table. And if you want to come in and listen to what's going on the big round table, all you have to do is text the word, and I'll send you the link. This is for our listeners only. Text the word, or the 2 words, big table, to 561, to our smart number, 561-861-2366. You'll get an invitation and the link to come into our Zoom meeting. You can attend from wherever you are, as long as you have access to the internet. You can come attend our mastermind. Now, what is the mastermind? Now, this is a place where we invite real estate investors. Most of them have real estate, entrepreneurs who are looking to share advice, what to do in business, what to do in real estate. We don't have a meeting where people don't walk away saying, that was some gold that you were talking about today that somebody shared. And so if you want to better your game, no matter what business you're in, but especially if you're in the real estate business, you're in the mortgage business, you're in the business of a small business, text the word big table to 561-861-2366. Come visit us. You'll find it's worth the time. It's tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So back to our conversation here. We were talking about some strategies, and here are just a few, just to name a few. And we've all heard of bi-weekly payments, and then people were selling the bi-weekly system. And if you understand what the bi-weekly mortgage, and in fact, they even now design some mortgages which pay on a bi-weekly basis. What's so special about a bi-weekly mortgage? Well, it's very simple. And what people don't understand is that there are, in fact, 52 weeks in a year. In other words, there's 26 bi-weekly periods. So that means 26, if you paid half a payment bi-weekly instead of one full payment once a month, you make 12 payments monthly. You have 13 bi-weekly periods, so you'll actually be making 1 extra payment a year. So you're, in fact, sending more money to the mortgage company. It's pretty straightforward. And now a lot of people say, well, why do I need to hire one of these services to do that when I can do it myself? And you absolutely can. And if bi-weekly is your strategy of choice, I'm going to tell you it's not the best choice out there. But if that's your choice, go ahead and do it. But what I have found is that situations will come up during the month. There will be more month left at the end of your paycheck than money. And unless sometimes it's kind of like having a personal coach. If you don't have a personal coach, you'll end up making excuses not to go to the gym. And as one of my friends like to say, I missed the gym this week again. That makes 8 years in a row. So that is a strategy, but it's not a very effective strategy, especially when people do it on their own. They tend not to do it. You've heard of the debt snowball, where you pay off the smallest debt first, and then you pay off the next, once it's paid off, you take that little small payment, add it to the minimum payment of the next biggest debt, and then that one gets paid off and goes to the next biggest debt. And so you basically snowball your payment. You accelerate how you pay it off. Again, believe it or not the best system that's out there. There is the debt avalanche that people will choose the highest interest rate. Now, highest interest rate is not always the best path because many times different credit card companies, for example, have minimum payments that are not any way tied into what the interest rate is. So they have a higher cost or higher payment in relation to the balance in relation to a lower interest rate credit card. So it becomes very confusing what you should pay off. Now, a couple of the things that you probably haven't heard of, one is called interest cancellation. Now, interest cancellation makes it possible for you to pay back a fraction of the interest that you normally owe. How do I have interest cancellation? Well, if I pay back some of the principal early, then they can't charge me interest on that. So that interest becomes canceled. And there's a way using things like float and some of the strategies. So if all of a sudden I employed a combination of the best of biweekly, the best of debt snowball, the best of debt avalanche, and employ interest cancellation, now I have this optimized. And you can't do this in your head, I promise you, just by looking at statements. You can't do it even on a spreadsheet unless you are a mathematical expert. You have to be practically a scientist. And I started developing this on a spreadsheet. And if you saw my spreadsheets, and they've come a long way, but I'll tell you, it's not good for the average person. And so another strategy that we employ together with this is what I call strategic payoff, which is sort of a combination of what we were just talking about, the avalanche, the snowball. And that, what it does is it analyzes each type of debt. Now, remember, a mortgage is compound interest. A car loan, it's simple interest. Well, what's the difference and which one should I pay off first? If you don't understand that, if that's outside of your wheelhouse, well, the software understands every type of mortgage instrument that's out there. In fact, they understand all the algorithms that the banks use in order to front load the interest rate. And they basically counteract those with the strategies that do exactly that. So strategic payoff means I'm analyzing your situation in order to determine which is the right path for you at this particular time with your particular balance. Now, remember, for example, in a mortgage, in the beginning years, you're paying practically all interest. The vast majority of your initial payments are interest. A tiny part is the principal payment in the first years. When you get to about the 20th year, which is how long it takes in a mortgage, not in your 15th year on a 30-year mortgage, but by year 2021 is when you get to the middle balance, the halfway point in terms of balance. But by that time, you've probably paid, 1.5 times what you originally borrowed, and you still owe half of the original amount. So it's not a fair balance. But later on in the years of a mortgage, you're now paying more principal than interest. So should I pay that debt first? It's not always the same answer for every single debt because it depends on how old and what type of a debt that is. And strategic payoff takes all of those things into account. Time value of money is another thing that unless you have a financial calculator, you probably won't know much about that. And unless you were a finance major or an engineer, you probably haven't thought much about that other than the general concept that money is worth more today than it is down the road. But what does that mean in terms of the debts that I have? So finally, this is the solution, the automatic landlord debt solution. If you want to learn more about that, and if you want a free analysis on your particular situation, no cost, no obligation, type the word equity to 561, that's equity, to 561-861-2366. That's 561-861-2366. The word equity, send it right now. Don't worry, it doesn't interrupt me. This is all automated, just like the automatic landlord is. And we'll be happy to send you that information. Well, the music is coming in. That was our About the Money segment for the Real Estate Show. We'll be back again same time tomorrow talking to you about our weekly wrap-up on Friday. So until then, this is your host, Eric Willner, signing off. Drive safe, wash those hands, and make it a great day. Bye-bye. Boom. We'll see you tomorrow, man. Thank you. So, since I had to go onto my personal Facebook page, I see a couple of new and interesting faces. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now, I do have a real estate show Facebook page. It's facebook.com/the real estate show, all one word. Those of you who are watching me on Facebook probably have a Facebook page. So all you have to do is just search for The Real Estate Show, just like the logo behind me. You'll see this logo on the Facebook page there. And you can listen to that 5 o'clock every night. And I forgot to mention, we now have our marathon version of The Real Estate Show, Sunday nights from 9 p.m. Until we have run the week's shows back to back. Those are all pre-recorded, but Sunday night from 9 o'clock on Eastern time, you can listen to the week's show. So if you want to catch it all in one double dose, then you can catch it there. Otherwise, you can look at all of the archives are on our website at automaticlandlord.com. Again, go to the top of the page. You will see the real estate show notes where we have written summary of the shows. We have a link to the recordings of the entire shows there in chronological order. And we're actually working on an index there. We'll see how that project bears out. But anyway, I have a 5:30 appointment. It is 5:30 now, and I got to run. But thank you for coming. Please like this show right here. Share it on your site. That helps us, of course, in a lot of ways. So like, share, comment. I love all of the above. So thanks again. Until tomorrow, same place, same time. Bye-bye. Boom.